From Elks Lodge in Middlesboro, Kentucky, it's Shaolin Kung Fu with Randy Earle. And now, here's the host of the show, Randy Earle.
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to our second edition of Inside Shaolin Kung Fu with Randy Earle. What we want to do today is we want to introduce a weapon. We're going to introduce the bow kata. I'm going to introduce you to our first animal form that we learned. We're going to do the tiger kata. I'll demonstrate the first, second, and third, maybe third level of each one. I want to continue on like I did last week with the self-defense techniques and add to those. And each time that we do it, we want to try to add more and give you a little bit more knowledge and tell you a little bit about Shaolin and everything. First thing I want to clear up is the way that we dress, our uniforms. A lot of people think if you don't have the Tai Chi top, then you're not doing Kung Fu. But let me tell you, actual words Kung Fu means man with ability. In China, you could be Kung Fu at gardening, you could be Kung Fu at cooking, you could be Kung Fu at painting, but the word Kung Fu just means man with ability. And actually, the reason that we wear these is because when the temple was burnt for the last time, and Master Sin's instructor, Grandmaster I Ching Ming, fled China to Indonesia, well, the Japanese ruled Indonesia at the time, and you weren't allowed to do any kind of Chinese martial arts. So what he did is he adapted the Japanese uniforms and adapted the belt colors to disguise what he was doing. And so when Master Sin came to America, he just kept them because he found out really quick that in America, you have to progress. And if you just have the same belt color all the time, Americans don't feel like they're progressing. As a matter of fact, I'll tell you a little story. Master Sin, when he first came to America, and he didn't know anyone, he thought that he could teach Shaolin to people as a way of meeting friends and everything. So he put in the newspaper, he used the word karate because karate was a generic term that means empty hand. So in the newspaper, he put free karate classes, and no one showed up. And so the next week, he advertised again, free karate classes, and no one showed up. So the following week, he said karate classes, $10, and 50 people showed up. So right then, he saw how Americans were. So he kept the belt ranking system, and we keep these uniforms. But as a matter of fact, if you're actually at the Shaolin Temple, actually the uniforms that they wear when they work out are similar to these. They just have cut-off sleeves. So that's what our uniform is about. I want to also tell you a little bit about our patches. Okay, this patch right here basically signifies it's a Chinese style of karate. This is the yin-yang, the two elements of the universe. The male, the female, the hard, the soft, the light, the dark. That's basically what this signifies. These two little things in here, these Chinese characters, mean golden serpent. Okay, golden serpent is the first system that Master Sin actually mastered. And golden serpent is the snake system, and it is actually the hardest of all the animals to master. That was the first one he mastered. So inside of our patch, we have golden serpent. The next patch we have here signifies that my instructor, Grandmaster Sin Quante, is a Grand Master. This signifies, the red belt signifies the highest level of any martial arts you can achieve. And inside this is Master Sin's name, and his instructor, Master E. So this says Sentai, and this is Master E. That's what these two little things are. This other patch here is just our school patch, which says Shaolin Kung Fu. This is just our karate patch. Now this right here says Grandmaster Sin Quante. This is written in Chinese. So that's a little bit about our uniforms. Now this patch here signifies the hardest of the hard and the softest of the soft. Now I have a special patch on one of my old gis that Master Sin gave a few of us a long time ago, which says Shaolin Warrior. Okay, but those patches aren't available anymore. But this patch says the hardest of the hard and the softest of the soft. So each week I want to try to Shaolin is so broad, and I'm so excited about it, and I've done it for so long, that I want to try each week to just give you a little insight about Shaolin and what separates it from other martial arts. So we're going to go on with tonight's episode, and I hope you enjoy it, and I hope that you make this part of your regular viewing. Thank you. Okay, what I'd like to do now is continue with the self-defense techniques. First thing we'll do is review the one we did last week, and then we'll add another one to it. And each week we'll keep adding and adding to these. Okay, last week what we did was somebody comes up and grabs your arm. Okay, so if he grabs my arm and he's just holding on to it, remember what we did is we borrowed from the bird system. I used my fulcrum effect here, and I attack the thumb. So as hard as he's holding me, I'm not going to use my muscle against his. I'm just going to go like this, and I'm going to use my body weight and my hips to shoot like that, back fist like that. Okay, so from here, when a person grabs you, I'm just going to go like this, use my hips like this. Okay, let me tell you too, like if you're a lady and somebody grabs you, you can cheat and just grab like that and then back fist. It's not important too much how you attack, it's just important how you attack. Just remember that. Because once somebody grabs you and you get loose, and the next time they grab you, it's going to be a lot harder to get out of. So when they grab you the first time, you have to try to defend yourself. Defend yourself as much as you need to, and then run. Number one self-defense technique, run away. Okay, now if they grabbed you and pulled you, I want to go like this, remember? I don't want to lock my knees. If he grabs you and pulls you and I lock my knees, he's just going to pull me like that as far as he wants to. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go like this. And now as he pulls, it's hard for him to pull me. I'm making the bird beak here. I'm just going to step up, and on these floating ribs, I'm just going to side kick and then get loose. And then I can sweep him from there, okay? The other thing we did last week was we did where you grabbed your hand like this. Again, I'm going to attack the thumb. But in order to attack the thumb this way, I'm going to borrow from the bird system again. I'm going to step forward, use my fulcrum right here, go down like that, and do this right here. Okay, I like to say don't try these at home. This is strictly demonstration, not instructional. So from here, I'm going to get like this, and what I'm actually going to do, remember, is try to do that. But if I can't do that, if he's got real big hands or he's real strong, I'm going to cheat, add my fulcrum right here, go down, hit like that. Okay, now let's replace it. Now today we're going to go to another one. We're going to do just like the neck choke like this. Remember I said there's as many different ways to get out of a hold as there are to get in it. So we're just going to do just the standard Hollywood neck choke like this. When a person's choking you, in the movies, when the person's getting choked, they go, ah, like that, okay? They don't do anything except stand there and scream. When a person's choking you, they're pushing in here on your windpipe. That's what's actually being choked. So when they're pushing on your windpipe, what you want to do is try to relieve that pressure by putting your chin down and turning your head this way. That way they're choking on this muscle right here. Now it's not going to relieve the pressure for very long, but it will give you just the split second you need. Okay, let's scoot back and try it again. So I'm just going to show you a couple of different ways on this, okay? If he's going like this, actually the best way is once you go like this, twist your neck. I'm going to sink down into our bow stance that we learned last week, and that pulls him forward a little bit. I have balance and he doesn't. Then I'm going to hit up and out as hard as I can, and then I'm going to smash. Then I'm going to knee, and then I'm going to run away. Okay, one more time. I'm going to twist my neck, go down, come up, hit, or chop like this, and then just knee like that. Okay, let me show you a couple of little variations of that. This little part, like I said, don't do this at home. Don't do this to your brother or your wife or your husband, anything like that. From here, this little spot right here, when he's choking me, I can just take my finger and go like that, and that will help relieve the pressure a little bit, okay? Another thing I can do is I can grab his thumb, his little finger, and I'm going to pull like that and try to pull him loose. If you can, you get both little fingers and go like that. But as you can tell, if somebody's choking you, that's going to be really hard to do. So the best thing to do the simplest thing, there are a lot of real fancy things, but the simplest one is to go back, hit up and out, and then hit knee, like that. Now I'm going to show you, just in case you're against the wall, and you're standing against the wall and he's choking you, and you can't go back like that. But stances, remember the two stances I showed you last week, the horse stance and the bow stance. The stances are really, really important in martial arts because that's where you get your balance from, okay? Like Mr. Miyagi, Daniel's son, balance, balance. It's really important. But now say I'm against the wall and I can't go backwards. What I'm going to do is I'm going to keep my arms straight and I'm just going to use my shoulder and my body weight to go like this. And then I'm just going to twist and hit like this. Okay, so if he grabs me like this, I'm just going to go like this, twist, hit like this. Okay, it won't work if he's like that and I try to do this. It's not going to work because I'm not going to get loose with power. I'm going to get loose with my body weight. It's my body weight against his arms. So my arm has to stay straight. Master Sin would always make us grab our gi. Your arm has to stay straight. And then you hit like this. Okay? So far we've done the hand grab and the neck choke. Now, next week we'll continue on, and what I hope to do is just go down one side of the body and then just come around and go down the other side. Okay. Thank you. Okay, since we're talking about the neck choke from the front, I'm just going to go ahead and show you just the standard neck choke from the back. Okay, if you've got any friends that are Marines or anything, they'll do the headlock and choke you like that. But we're just going to do, right today, we're just going to do where the person has you like this. Okay, so if a person has you like that, the same thing, just like you're against the wall. What I'm going to do is I'm going to step with one foot and use the opposite hand. I'm going to step and I'm going to go like this. You have to do it fast, and then I'm going to lock him like this. I'm going to hit him here, and I'm going to step behind and try to trip him. Okay, one more time. If he's got you like that, you have to keep your arms straight. I'm going to use my whole body weight. I'm going like this. Then I'm going to grab like this if I can. If you can, it's no problem. The point is, once you get loose, you have to attack. I'm going to hit here, as many times as I think I have to defend myself. And I'm just going to step back and push him backwards. Okay, so that's the back neck choke. Okay, I'm going to demonstrate, or have the class demonstrate something that I really don't care for. It's board breaking. It seems to be all the rage, and all the karate schools seem to like to break things. Okay, we're going to use it just for one reason, to show you how techniques work and show you the different weapons. Bruce Lee said in the movie Enter the Dragon, boards don't hit back. And that's true. So breaking a board has hardly nothing to do with martial arts, especially at this level. But it will show you how we focus in on techniques. I'm going to show you the different strikes and the different kicks and how we focus in. Okay, the first thing I'd like to show you is a front snap kick. Okay, what we'll have is Hunter. We're going to have Hunter, who's one of my yellow belts. We're going to have him do a front snap kick. Okay, now put your left foot forward, Hunter. Okay, now what you have to do is just focus in. We don't do this at class. This is an experiment down here. We're doing it for the TV. Okay, he's going to front snap kick the board. Ready? All right, thank you, Hunter. Okay, next thing that we're going to try is I'm going to show you a side kick. Remember last week we did a side kick. So I'm going to use Nathan, and he's going to break one with the side kick. Just step into it, Nathan. Okay, ready? All right. Hey. Okay. And the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to have Josh. He's going to demonstrate. We've showed you how the front snap kick is and how the side kick is. Next thing, we're going to show you a ridge hand, like this. Now what you're doing in this is you're using this part for a weapon. Okay. From here. All right. All right. Now, we got 2 more boards. We're going to have Adam. Adam is going to do the standard karate chop. Okay. Real hard all the way through. All right. Now, we have 1 more board, and I'm going to show you, since we were talking about the bird technique, Josh, I'm going to show you, I'm going to use this part right here and do a crane technique. This way? Yes, like that. Okay, now from here, I'm just going to use this right here. I'm going to go like this. All right. Right, now like I said, that's really not part of martial arts, but we thought that we would show you some techniques. Okay, also each week what I'd like to do is introduce an animal and maybe a weapon. This week we're going to talk about the bow staff. Now the bow staff is the most traditional karate weapon there is. From here, there are a lot of different techniques you use for fighting techniques and a lot of different katas. Let me tell you a little bit about katas while we do this. The kata is like a choreographed ballet type of thing. Okay, in the old days, what they would do with the weapons and the empty hands and the animal forms, they would hide the techniques in a whole series of choreographed movements. You may go through 120 movements. There may actually be only 5 fighting techniques in the whole 120 movements. They would disguise it in those, that way people watching couldn't actually pick up on the movements. Because a long time ago, how well you fought was directly proportional to how long you lived. So they didn't want to give their secrets away. But a bow staff, the monks, after they would graduate from the temple, they would go out in the country and do good deeds. But one of the things that they always carried was a bow staff. Now their wood was called palam mo, which means white waxwood, which is very hard and really hard to break. One tree made 1 bow staff. But now we have these factory-made bow staffs, and they're not quite the same thing. But this is the basic weapon of all the Shaolin monks. Now what I'm going to do now is just let our yellow belts demonstrate. We have 4 basic bow techniques that we use. And from everything we do, these 4 basic techniques, they have all the movements that we do in the bow kata. Okay, so what we're going to do is I'm going to have my yellow belts demonstrate the 4 basic bow spins. Okay, ready? Spin number 1. Okay, spin number 2. Okay, spin number 3. And spin number 4. Okay. Okay, now from those basic 4 bow spins, actually this is the first weapon that we learned to use, and the yellow belts actually start using this. Probably about 4 months, 5 months into our training, we start with our first weapon, and it's the bow staff. Now what I want to do now is I want to let some of the higher belts demonstrate some of the bow katas, some of the more intricate katas. Okay. What I'm going to do now, you've seen the 4 basic bow spins. What I'm going to do is let you see how they incorporate into our first basic bow kata. Okay, ready? Bow. Begin. Okay, that is the first basic bow kata, and that is actually a blue belt kata. Okay, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to have Adam, I'm going to have him demonstrate a second level bow kata. Now in the Shaolin system, the bow staff has probably about 18 to 20 katas. Okay, each kata has its own unique things and its own unique fighting capabilities. Okay, if you notice on the first one, there's a lot of blocking and a lot of moving around. There's different types of things that we do, but we do our circle blocks and things like that. Now this is the second level bow kata. This is the brown belt kata. I'm going to have Adam demonstrate that. This is called Taiping. Okay, ready? Bow. Begin. Okay, what I'd also like to do each week is introduce one of our animal forms. The animal forms is what makes Kung Fu unique to all other styles. Shaolin has all kinds of animals. They have the 5 basic animals, but they also have the different types of tigers, the different types of cranes. They have black tiger, they have leopard, they have all kinds of things. There's even actually the golden centipede, there's the dragon, there's the turtle, there's all kinds of things. What they would do in the old days is a person would watch an animal, and if they saw them fighting, they would adapt their fighting techniques to a style. And a long time ago, we didn't have TV, we didn't have video games, we didn't have the movies to go to. So people actually sat around and thought about how to fight. And in the Shaolin Temple, they thought real long and hard, and they would record things. So what I'm going to introduce first, the first animal we learn is the tiger. So I'm going to introduce the tiger. Okay, now with the tiger, the basic thing from the tiger is the tenacity. On the tiger, they're ferocious, and tenacity means stick-to-itiveness. If a tiger is hungry, they will eat you. That is for sure. And the tiger, with the tiger claw, there's basic things that we're going to do. This is the tiger claw. You're going to hit with this part, you're going to hit with this part, you're going to hit here, or you're going to rake the face. So there's 4 basic types of things that you're going to do with the tiger. Okay, now the very first tiger form we learn is in the yellow belt, and it's called Fei Fu Chu Tung. It means flying tiger comes out of cave. And so I'm going to let my yellow belt, since this is the first animal kata that they have learned, I'm going to let them demonstrate the tiger kata, Fei Fu Chu Tung. Flying tiger comes out of cave. Okay, everybody up. Okay, scoot back. Okay, ready? Scoot back just a little farther. Guys, okay, ready? Bow. Begin. Now what I'm going to do now is take it one more step farther, and again I'm going to have Adam do a second level tiger kata. This is Ching Kong Fu Hu Chun. It's called the fist of the tiger from the Ching Kong mouth. Okay, ready? Bow. Begin. first animal that we learned, the tiger caught it. So, okay, that's the end of tonight's episode, and thank you very much for watching again. Actually, I'm having a real good time doing this, and I hope you'll continue to watch. And I hope that each week we give you a little more understanding of martial arts in general and Shaolin in specific. And what we want to get across each week is that martial arts is not actually about fighting, it's about total self-improvement. It's about having fun, and it's about camaraderie and things like that. So what I'd like to do is leave you with another Chinese saying. This is a Confucius saying. It says, "What the superior man seeks in himself, the common man seeks in others." So until next week, this is Randy Earle saying good night.